Hello, everyone, and welcome to all that has stopped by to join us today. Do as we do live this Friday. Hi, I'm Kimberly, and this is.
Jill Armijo. Nice to be here. Fabulous to
Yeah,
be here.
yeah, we are talking today about five dementia belly laughs that will get you through your day. And I'm excited. Before we jump into that, I want to make sure everybody knows that we are live on Facebook and YouTube, as well as Jill's YouTube. So, wherever you're watching us from, please share a story, ask a question. And if you watch us on the replay, make sure you put hashtag replay and where you are watching us from. Our goal is definitely to be here every Friday, having a thoughtful conversation, bringing a topic of value to the audience to help current caregivers and future caregivers. And when I say caregivers, I want to reiterate that it's unpaid family caregivers that are helping their loved one with something. Like for me, it's dementia. For Jill's, it is.
Schizophrenia, but I also help my mom with my dad with
Yes.
Parkinson's.
Yes,
So,
which is a form of dementia.
yeah.
Yeah. So we'll be here sharing tips and tricks and also having a conversation around those rough things, rough topics that I am on a mission to get people talking about, because it is not about if you die, it's about if you live. And if you don't have some sort of a plan or you haven't had a conversation with your loved ones, they're going to be thrown into a world that nobody could have prepared them for. So, with that said, let's jump into this conversation about the funniest belly laughs, dementia belly laughs, if you will, that can get you through a rough day. Do you want to kick this one off, Jill?
Oh, sure. So, I don't know if you can hear, but my husband, the one with schizophrenia that I take care of, he just jumped in the shower, even though I told him I was going to be live.
I couldn't hear that.
So, oh, good.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wondered about that because it sounds kind of loud to me. But
Nah.
anyway, he's he's a sweetheart.
Yeah.
But so most of my experience with dementia care and the humor around people with dementia and their caregivers has been as a professional caregiver, a paid caregiver, as a physical therapist in all kinds of different care settings. And as is typical in care settings, a lot of the humor in for people with dementia of all kinds is potty humor because the nurses go around a couple of times a day and ask each patient if they've had a bowel movement yet. And they kind of say it like that in the hallway because unless they can go into their room and say it out loud, but they don't want
Yeah.
to share what they're talking about with everybody in the hallway. So there's been just so much humor that I've been blessed with over the years with patients with dementia saying the most hilarious things about nurses asking them if they've had their bowel movements yet. And unfortunately, I didn't stop and write them all down. I was just, running along in the hall or walking my patient or whatever. And so, but there
Well,
have been a few that I just they were so funny. I
stuck
remembered
with
them.
you. Yeah.
And one was that a nurse asked a gentleman if he had a bowel movement yet.
Uh-huh.
And he said, "Yes, I did." And she said, "And how did it go?" And because so after they say, "Have you had a bowel movement?" then they want to know if it was soft, if it was firm, if
Okay.
it was, diarrhea,
Yeah.
or if they're constipated. They want to know all the gory details, right?
Yeah.
So he said, "Well, I think everything came out okay." I just loved it. So I actually wrote that one down
Yeah.
because it's just so precious. And
my
then,
mom my mom is infamous for she's like, when she wants to get up from the chair, but doesn't want to say she has to go to the bathroom in front of mainly somebody she doesn't know, or my boyfriend, a male figure, right? She always, I have to go potty. Like she whispers it, like he can't hear. I mean, he can hear because
Yeah.
I gotta go potty. And then she gets up and she goes, "Oop, I farted."
Yeah.
Like, okay, so you're whispering and you have to go to the bathroom,
Yeah. Oh,
but then she apologizes for tooting, as she says.
yeah. This reminds me of the fact that a lot of people, by the time they have dementia, because most people that have dementia get it when they're older, there are young, early onset situations, but a lot of them really don't have much control of their bowels.
Okay.
At that point, not everybody, but a lot don't. And so it's really been hilarious to me over the years how some people will fart or poop in their brief and they don't realize it's them because they can't feel it. They didn't have the urge. They didn't feel it. So there'll be a noisy fart or something and they'll look around, they'll go, oh, who did that? And sometimes they're actually joking and they know it was them, but sometimes they sincerely don't know it's them and it's just hilarious. And then, or they'll smell something and they'll be like, somebody stinks. And you're like, yeah, we're taking care of that right now. We're on our way. So it's just so funny. The perception. And sometimes the short-term memory has to do with, somebody will say, I have to go to the bathroom. So I'll get them ready to leave the gym and go back to their room to go to the bathroom. And they can't wait till we get to the bathroom. So we're halfway down the hall and they're going potty already in their brief or whatever. And they're like, how come we're just now going to the potty? I had to, go a long time ago and it's been like 2 minutes. I got them as fast as I could, but they just don't remember from 1 minute to the next that they just barely told me they had to go potty. So
my mom, to make it like, because in the beginning, when she first came to stay with me, I would get anxious if I didn't wake her up in enough time so that she wouldn't have an accident. So then I just got over it and I would just blame it on her dog, Millie. Oh, like, it's Millie's fault because she didn't wake you up, or Millie, did you pee in the bed? So my mom wouldn't feel, like, because it bothers her, right? Like, she doesn't, and it's embarrassing sometimes if it's somebody else that's, like if she didn't know her, if her caregivers knew, but really it's just more of a, like, she feels a little bit of humiliation even with me. Right. And I just oh, Mom, I can't even hold it sometimes. It's okay. You just, it's, and so making it either a joke using the dogs, that it's their fault.
Helps to preserve a little dignity. Yeah.
Because I don't want her to feel bad about it. And I can't change that feeling. All I can do is redirect her motion of making her laugh. I felt was the easiest way for her and me to not feel anxious or bad or anything for her, because I definitely had to get through that emotion when she first came to stay with me, because it's going to happen whether you have dementia or not. Our bladders just don't hold up with age. So deal with it. Right.
Yep, exactly.
Let's see, when she's in there, the other thing that I absolutely have to make her laugh and get her going is blaming the dogs for allowing her to stay sitting on the potty, right? Like, because she'll just sit there and wait. Either she's got to take a poop or she's just tired, and so if she sits too long, her leg falls asleep. So I'm like, Mom, come on.
Get up before you won't be able to.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yes, Deborah, bathroom dignity is a real thing.
Yes. It's a tough juggling act sometimes. And sometimes the patients want to make it humorous, and sometimes they just really want to keep it hush hush. And it's our job to, to just make the best of it, whatever way they are. And some people, it's so funny with dementia, because some people with dementia, their personalities change overnight, as they progress into that next stage or whatever. And some people keep their basic personalities the whole way through. And So you just kind of have to roll with it. If somebody was just a nice, sweet, you know, unassuming little gal, and then all of a sudden she's using all the swear words in the book and, you know, making sexual innuendos and stuff, you just kind of have to roll with it and just realize, you know, either you can say to yourself, this isn't her, or maybe this is just some bottled up, pent up stuff that's been inside of her brain all these years that she's been so courageously trying to hide from the world. And now she's just letting it out. So it doesn't really matter. You know, we just
Yeah.
need to try to help them to have the dignity that they want.
Yeah. My mom likes to, when I ask her to do, when she doesn't want to do something or when she doesn't like what she's been told, she'll stick her tongue out and flip me off. And then so I do that back to her and I laugh. I'm like, I love you too, Mom. And, you know, and then I give her a kiss. And because, you know, she has the dominant A personality still in her, right? And she's always been a very light, she, you know, funny, serious, but she likes, you know, I always tell her, it's a yoke, Mom, it's a yoke. Oh, okay, it's a yoke. So our, you know, just to keep her laughing and not get her in that, you know, instead of I realized early the art of laughter and redirection was key because of her personality and my personality are we're A types, right? So I struggled with that in the beginning. And the way I got myself through it was to find something that made her laugh, to ask more than I told her, right? To ask her, or direct her, or tell her things that I know would motivate her to do what, like take a shower, like, you know, so when I know she doesn't want to, I make a joke and I'm like, but you got a hot date tonight, Mom. And like, she's like, I do. Okay.
Let's do this.
Let's do this.
Yeah. And that brings up a really important point with dementia. People don't really use logic as much as they use their emotions to decide what they're going to do next, or how they're going to act, or how they're going to absorb or process something that's going on. So if we can help them to help develop an emotion for them that keeps them in a peaceful frame of mind, then that's so much easier on us and kinder to them if we can promote whatever emotion it is they're looking for that helps them to feel happy. So whether it's, you know, helping them connect with a pet or a family member, or whether it's just watching an old favorite movie or putting on jazz tunes that they really like, even if we hate it, those emotions that will help them to feel how they want to feel is way more important than trying to be logical and saying, well, Mom, you already did this, or we're going to do that, or whatever. So yeah, you telling your mom that you're helping her get ready for a hot date is perfect, because that's going to bring up emotions of excitement and, you know, let's get this done, instead of, oh, Mom, you have to clean yourself because we don't want you to stink up the place.
When I get desperate, I do say, like, Mom, you played, you know, even if she didn't play tennis the day before, I just say, hey, Mom, you did exercise, or if she didn't play it, I'll say, you played tennis and you need to shower, right? Like, it's important.
And that's familiar to her because she played tennis a lot. So,
and she would always shower afterwards. So that's, you know, definitely something that is a good redirection for her. The other thing, you brought up music. So because she has always loved to go dancing, like that was really her thing, and loved to listen to music, I would put on our television, I'll put on something from YouTube. And like the Carlton was a trend for a while on TikTok. And so I was like, look, Mom, let's do the Carlton. So I was showing her, and all she did was, and we just laugh because, you know, because she just really was like, what is, you know, she didn't do her legs and her arms. She just did her head, and her expression was so funny.
Yeah. That's all she needed to do to get into it. And
but we'll stand up and we'll do a little like jitterbug and, you know, two-step, like, and even though, you know, I already know those, I'll ask her to teach me, or, if I say, well, you want to learn this, and we just roll with it. Even if it's not right, it's not correct, whatever, it is definitely something that helps her mood, right? Because of music, right? Music and motion, that from
Music and
remembering the old
motion.
days.
It's been so fascinating to me over the years that something as basic as walking that people have known ever since they were 1 year old becomes difficult over time with most kinds of dementia. And yet, if you turn on some music and somebody has been a dancer in the past, or they love to dance, they like the music, whatever, they'll at least tap their feet. And a lot of times they dance better than they can walk or
Yeah.
talk or do anything, or they can sing a song.
Mm-hmm.
Like they can't even carry on a conversation, but they can sing their favorite songs all the way through, all the words. I've
Yep.
known people that could go into the entertainment room and play beautiful music on the piano and entertain everybody for an hour, but
Mm-hmm.
they couldn't get their own spoon to their mouth for lunch.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's fascinating what music can do for people. But this
Yeah.
isn't music, this is a humor thing. So I think
Yeah.
I'm getting off
No,
kilter.
but it's, activity, any activity, like for my mom, she like, you'd be shocked. She can still play tennis, right? She's like kind of wobbling when she's
That's
walking around, but the minute
crazy.
she gets on the tennis court, she becomes a competitor and is trying to make the poor young lady that I had found. She's a 20-something-year-old young lady who plays collegiately. She makes her run for the ball so my mom does not have to run. And my mom, like, she laughs and she'll say, didn't mean it, sorry. When the young lady's running to like chase the ball and hit it, and it just makes my mom laugh so much. I'm like, oh, that's a burn, Mom. Like, she's like, I didn't do that.
That's so precious. That is
But
great.
so just trying to find those little things in whatever movement or action that does make her laugh, I'm super aware of now. I try to do my best, because it helps her mood so much on a regular basis.
And it's another thing is it's really incredible how clever people with dementia can be with their comebacks and their humor. It's so funny how they can just twist anything you say into something that might embarrass you or something so that they can get a good laugh. It's just really fun.
Yeah.
I have a person that posts regularly in my Facebook group, Saturday Humor. Every Saturday he tells 2 or 3, maybe 4 anecdotes that have happened in his wife's care center, where it's a memory care center. And the ladies at the lunch table are just hilarious. And they just say the most risque and scandalous things to him. And it just cracks him up. And then he shares them with us. And it's just fabulous.
Well, I have to check that one out. I think I've seen one of those come through my feed on.
Yeah.
But it's funny. You like, those are the things that you should remember and share, because it is. My mom will make comments when we're out. She loves to, like, so she's always about like meeting people, right? And she'll say something funny, or or like, if I would say, don't have too much fun without me, Mom, or don't talk to any strangers, don't have a party. She's like, party, what? Like, and so when we're in public, she'll bring something up just random, and she's like, what, you think I'm having a party here by myself? Or, I'm like, okay. I'm like, where's this coming from, right? But it's just, she's quite humorous, especially when there's others, around. Like, she definitely
it's fun for them when they can get a little group of them. Like, so I just actually found this one that that Greg posted in our group last weekend, I think. And I'm just going to read it really quick. He said, I walked into the cafe in my wife's memory care facility. There was a table of little ladies sitting at one table, and he changes the names for privacy. And Greg said, Susan, are you staying out of trouble? Beth is sitting next to Susan. Beth said, I don't know about her, but I want to get in trouble with you. Greg says, I gave her my best stare and she didn't even blink. I said, Beth, you're all talk. Beth raised her eyebrows. Wanna bet? I smiled and so did Susan, not Beth. She may have been a professional poker player. I'm not going to call her bluff. I scurried away, but could hear her snickers all the way down the hall. These girls love pulling my chain.
Oh, that is so funny.
That's so clever. And they're in a memory care facility. It's just hilarious.
I do feel as people get older, they just don't care, right? Like
Right.
their filter
Oh,
is
yeah.
gone, and what do they have to lose?
They're not
So
trying to impress anybody. They're just, yeah.
whatever's on their mind is coming out.
Yep.
You know, good, bad, or indifferent. Sometimes my mom says things and I'm just like, they're not so funny, you know, not so politically correct. And I'm like, Mom, where did that come from? Like,
Yeah.
stop. But I do think that comes with age, and then, you know, if it's dementia or not, but definitely she's got no filter like she used to have.
Yeah, that's kind of something that brings maybe the caregivers a tear to their eye from so much laughing, but the person that was the butt of their comment maybe.
Yeah. Not
Yeah, so many uncomfortable situations where my patient would comment about somebody's age or their body size or their skin color or their heritage or something, and I'd just be like, red. Don't say that. But here's one more from Greg. And so just so that you know, it's not all potty and sexual humor. This one's really cute that this lady said. So Ginny, my grief counselor just passed away. Greg, I'm so sorry, Ginny. Are you doing okay? Ginny, I'm great. She was really good. Me, As I walked away, I heard Ginny tell someone, he's fun to be around. He believes anything. So yeah, that's pretty clever humor, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Deborah has shared a little story when Deb says, when my sister-in-law was passing in our home, I was in the room showing my mother-in-law my gala dress. At this point, she wasn't very verbal and she still managed to get the word hoochie out. LOL. And this was our kind of humor.
Awesome. That's so cute. Oh my goodness. These people. Gotta love them. So much fun.
Gotta love them. And you'll always remember those moments, you know, in time, because they just don't, they definitely leave an imprint on your heart, and you know, because you've made those types of memories with them. So one of the other things that I love to do with my mom is, I think I have one of her, is bring up photographs and ask and like make up random stories, right, with them. Like here's one. It's actually
great idea.
It's a picture with her and my brother on a seesaw, and she's got curlers in her hair. And I was like, Mom, what like, why do you have hot rollers in your head, on your head, where you like
the playground?
Yes, the playground. I'm so confused. Well, I think they were at a national park because it was out in the desert, you can tell. But I was just kind of like so and so I just made up a random story, and she's like, okay, you know, because most of, you know, like asking her to recall something like that is not, it frustrates her, right? Like, and even if she gives me an answer, it's a 50-50 chance that it is truly the story, right? So I just make it up for her, and we just laugh and move on.
Awesome. Yeah.
And when I make the mistake of, which I do very often, having my clothing inside out, like I'll like, look, Mom, you're not the only one who needs help dressing, and you know, show her if I put on a different colored sock, or if you
buttoned your shirt wrong.
Yeah, I've had my shirt wrong, and so we laugh at my funny, you know, things. I was like, everybody needs a little bit of help, Mom. It's okay, right? And she's like, yep, we all do. So making her feel like it's she's not the only person, right?
It's okay to be goofy.
yeah, and forget and lose your keys and things of that sort. So I definitely like to point those things out to her so she can laugh, so she can feel in that, even if it's just for a minute, that,
Yeah.
ha, you know what it feels like to be me. Sometimes she'll
Yeah.
say, yeah. So I do.
That's awesome. Yeah.
But yeah, it's a an ongoing process.
Adventure. Yeah.
Yeah, to find those funny things. Sister Act is a movie that 1 and 2 that I can put on and she laughs, and just listening to her laugh at Whoopi Goldberg and the nuns,
Hmm.
it's just it gives me a belly laugh. Like she is just in stitches. So
Yeah.
it's definitely become a go-to movie for me, and I tried to take note of others that she likes to
That
watch
she really
because
likes. That's good. Yeah. So you can put, yeah, it's such a great resource when you know what somebody really loves
mhm,
and they're having a rough day, they
mhm.
will forget all about their rough day if you can get them focused on something that they really connect with.
Oh yeah,
So
for
that's
sure.
awesome you do that.
Um, so her animals, music and dancing, um, any type of party joke, funny movies are all things that have really helped me as a caregiver. One, not just connect with my mom, but two, switch the mood up because when she's
Hmm.
laughing, it helps me for
Hmm.
sure.
Yeah. One
100%.
thing one thing that I know people really struggle with is the repetition of when somebody says, "When are we having lunch? When are we having lunch? When are we
Mhm.
having lunch?" Over and over and over. And I think humor is so important at that point because instead of repeating yourself, you can say goofy things and see what they'll notice.
Yep.
You can just say something random like, "Well, when the crabs bring it in the house, then," and
Huh?
they might catch it or they might just go along with it. And it's funny either way. If
Yeah.
they catch it and call you out on it, there's
Yeah.
probably a little bit of a funny conversation that ensues. And if they don't catch you and they go along with it and they're like crabs, then that's something that you can laugh about too. So
Oh
um,
yeah.
that's what kind of helps me with the repetition. So my
Yeah.
husband with schizophrenia, he does need a lot of reconfirmation of things
Mhm.
sometimes. And I was just sour and distressed and thought our life had gone wrong and all of that stuff. And we didn't deserve this for so many years that I wasn't humorous at all. I was just a stick in the mud. And
Mhm.
when I finally figured out how much humor there was to be found in our life and that our our life hadn't gone wrong. It was just different than we planned. And, just
Yeah.
told myself a lot of different stories about what was going on instead of the crap I was telling myself before.
Mhm.
Then the humor is so much easier to come by.
Yeah.
S-
And
And
that's a good point to repeat. Well, one, you need to practice repeating yourself this like it was the first time you said it, but maybe change it up. Like you said,
Mhm.
like changing up the story however you want to change it up after the 50th time will definitely help, or saying something different every single time. In the morning is usually when she has the most questions around
Mhm.
things, so I definitely have to get good at that, you know whatever it might be, and answering and making jokes out of it, like that
Yeah.
will possibly make her laugh.
Yeah.
And if she were to catch it, then that'd even be better. But she, 9 times out of 10, she doesn't. But
Uh-huh.
if one day it does happen, then I'll be, because she definitely surprises me on things that she can recall. And so I don't know. I've figured out that just repeating it and making it funny is helpful for sure.
Yeah.
Um, Deborah liked to share that she says, I suffered through the BTS ban for my sister in law. I take it that her sister in law loved BTS, which is a K pop group, Korean.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, for those who might not know, because I didn't know, my niece loves them. So I feel ya, Deb. You're amazing human for being that
Yeah,
caregiver.
sometimes, yeah, we just have to put our own wants and needs aside a little bit for a time just
Yeah.
to make our lives easier because they're not
Yeah,
hating
for
life.
sure. Yeah. We live
So,
in their perception is their reality, so we definitely need to remember that. And if we
right.
make it fun or funny, that's even more important at the end of the day. So, um, but I want to wrap this up and let everybody know that we will be here next week, talking about next Friday at 4, talking about travel tips to make traveling with a loved one easier and a breeze. I'm super excited to share those that I have found and a few that I made, that I'll share with you guys. And I'm sure Jill has lots on that department too to share. So, yeah, next week we'll be doing that. And if you want to connect with Jill, make sure you do so at, go ahead, Jill, I'll let you say
Oh,
it.
at jillarmijo.com is my website. And then I don't even know what all the things are. If you want to join my Facebook group, it's Caregivers Living Abundantly.
Yeah.
And then I guess just put my name into because most of them are just like my name.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
don't know what my handles are. I don't. Maybe
You
I'm
put your
getting.
name in here, and you're pretty much the only Jill Armijo. So
Yeah, there is another Jill Armijo on social media.
but
So
your content comes up. I mean,
yeah,
because you're on there, so your content
yeah.
comes up live. If you want to you want to follow Do As We Do, the Facebook page, Instagram, YouTube, put on notifications so you know when we go live again, which will be next Friday at 4. We would love that. If this topic, this information that we shared with you today, you find it helpful, please share that with someone. And anything else am I missing? I remember. Remember, it's not about if you die, but it's about if you live. That's what Do As We Do. And Jill and many others are preaching. We're beating the caregiver drum, and we want people to be prepared. So,
Yep. We want you
okay.
to thrive and be happy too, and not
Yeah,
feel like, your life is over or it's horrible. It's not
right.
horrible. It's just different than you thought it was going to be right now. And you can
Absolutely.
do this. You got it.
Absolutely. You got it. So, until next Friday, remember sharing is caring.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Kimberly.
Thank you, Jill.
Thanks,
Appreciate it.
everybody.
Bye.
Yeah.